What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another video. Today is another rendition of the Hot Take series, so we don't get right into it, obviously. A couple announcements real quick. First, I'm going to be having a comments of the day every video, so, for the next video, I'll be going over my favorite comment from this last video, or this video, so, when you're writing a comment, I guess, try to wow me or amaze me. If you're not already, obviously, come head through the Discord. We added a new section, and in that section, it's basically a sneak peek, so if if you're on my channel and you want to see my content or stuff, or you want to get a sneak peek on stuff, that's the place to head to. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it, obviously. So question of the day real quick. Question of the day is gonna be, what is your hottest take? So give me your anime hot takes. I got the hot takes from this video, but I want to hear your hot takes as well, because y'all probably got some flames, so I want to hear that for sure. But yeah, first question of the day is from Yuji Itadori, so obviously check him out, he's in the Discord, so yeah. And he said Yuji's a better MC than Naruto. And I feel like this is, you have the Naruto and the Jujutsu Kaisen comparisons that's come out a lot, you know what I'm saying? Having watched both series, it's interesting because a lot of people compare the whole, I guess you can call them almost the Team Gojo versus Team Kakashi. But I feel like, as of right now, Yuji's character, while he does have some things that are setting up, like he has a couple things that I feel like could make him a really great character, I feel like we haven't really fleshed out those things yet. Like, we really haven't seen a lot of character, I don't want to say character development, we haven't really seen him reacting to a lot of events that have happened. Like, besides, I want to say when his friend died early on in the anime, we don't really get to see, like, Yuji's inner monologue and stuff like that. And obviously Naruto, we're talking about the character development of Naruto. I mean, we have two huge whole series to talk about. So Naruto just hasn't beaten, it's really not close right now. Next one, we got Ichigo. Check out Ichigo, obviously. He's saying Mihawk is Admiral level, no cap. Now, I was a little confused on this. I was, not sure if you meant Mihawk is only Admiral level or he's at least Admiral level, because I do think that Mihawk is at least Admiral level. While I do think that, Admirals are low-key underrated now, I think that saying Mihawk is Admiral level is not, that's an easy yes take, right? Because Zoro's end game, which is Mihawk basically, there's no way that Mihawk's not at least Admiral level. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. You can look at Mihawk in Marineford and stuff. Mihawk was in as Duffy. Now, people might get on him and say that he was tussling with Vista, but at the same time, it was very clear to me, at least, Mihawk was not trying that hard in Marineford. And Mihawk has some crazy feats, like, we know him and Shanks were fighting, a lot of time ago when they were a lot younger, stuff like that. Whitebeard pretty much never, praises the younger generation, was, basically saying you and Shanks' fight was insane, so, that is a big deal. So Mihawk is definitely Admiral level. I don't think that's that crazy of a take. Next, we got Uno, so obviously check out Uno. And Uno is saying Boruto, when he's older, will be stronger than Naruto. And this is a lukewarm take in my opinion. I feel like this is definitely facts. Now, coming into, before I was watching or reading Boruto, I definitely wasn't in agreement on this. I just didn't see how Boruto, this random no-name, well, he's not a random no-name, but Boruto, this kid, could come and be what Naruto is now. We're talking about Naruto, we're talking about Sage Mode, Kurama, basically the nine-tailed beast individual chakra. Like, Naruto is a monster. But, having read the manga with Boruto, obviously, and seeing everything that's going on, bro, Boruto catch up for sure. Like, it's not a hot take. Like, if you understand the karma stuff, that how it's a backup, Boruto basically has the backup of Momoshiki. And everyone's seen that fight. That fight is goated. Check out that fight. That fight is goated. I'll say it twice, because that's how good it is. It took Naruto and Sasuke fighting Momoshiki to win. So, that should let you know everything you need to know. Like, if Boruto was able to somehow, I'm not saying it's possible or even what will happen, but if Boruto could somehow harness Momoshiki's power, or maybe he gets something else in addition, he's gonna surpass Naruto. It's just how it's gonna be. And we know the time skip's coming up, so that could really come. I'm not gonna say Boruto's gonna surpass Naruto by the time skip, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boruto comes to the time skip and he's approaching 4 Shinobi War Naruto levels. Don't be surprised, that's all I'm gonna say. Then we got FTC and Uchiha. I'll let y'all both go because it's the same basically comment, and they're saying that Jiraiya's overrated, he's a bad character, and he sucks. And y'all hating on Jiraiya now? I just don't understand it. I mean, Jiraiya's, I'm not saying he's the most loved character ever. That's Itachi or some other character, but Jiraiya's one of those characters where he played his role perfectly. He was the sensei to Naruto. He taught Naruto a lot of good jutsu, Rasengan, summoning jutsu, some Naruto's control. He taught Naruto a lot of stuff. Obviously, he died. He had some emotional impact on stuff, but Jiraiya was just that man. So I don't understand how he's overrated, because who clamoring for Jiraiya? Where the Jiraiya stands at? I've been a Naruto fan forever. I ain't never seen no Jiraiya stands. So you have to let me know on that. Jiraiya's one of those characters where he's not even in the story for as long as you think, because he plays his role and he plays it well. We got Edward 23. This is a quick one. It's pretty bad. Saying Madara's not a good villain. Maybe it's not that quick of a one, because one I disagree with it regardless though. Madara, we're talking about Madara. He's probably the character with the most hype in the series, right? Madara was getting hyped since the end of part 1. Like, since then, we just got Madara. People were even capping as if they were Madara and had people shaking on their boots. So when we see Madara and, all this stuff, Madara, I think he plays his role, which is he's this crazy villain that no one can beat. And when he comes, he's that guy. Now, you might say he's not as fleshed out as maybe a Pain and Obito, even Itachi, if you count him as a villain. But still, like, Madara came in was like, I'm that guy, and proceeded to show us how he's that guy. Look at the bro's intro. Like, Madara came in and was just all over the place. He was dropping people off left and right, literally. But I mean, it's not all about strength, right? We're talking about a villain. I do think that there are different types of characters, right? There's static characters and stuff like that. Characters that don't really change. And I think Madara is one of those characters where he's not super diverse. Like, Naruto has some really crazy, fleshed out characters, and Madara's not one of those guys, but that doesn't really mean he's not a great villain. For what Madara's supposed to be, which is like this crazy, chopped, old, ghost from the past of the Naruto world, one of the things that fell through the cracks, one of the issues that the Naruto world or Konoha or whatever basically set up, Madara was perfect for that role, so I'm gonna have to disagree with that. We got nice 23, obviously, and he said Boruto's not as bad as people say. And Boruto's a funny thing, right? Because I watched Boruto, I haven't watched Boruto, nah. I've read Boruto and stuff, and I feel like I've seen both sides, right? Where a lot of people in my Discord and stuff, y'all love Boruto like to death. A lot of people were saying Boruto's better than this, Boruto's better than that. And we don't have to really get on that, I feel like Boruto's being a little overrated at that point. But I remember before I was even a YouTuber, or anime YouTuber in that sense, and I was talking with my friends, or just looking at the overall anime, perception, Boruto was not loved. People were saying Boruto was garbage, it was like a waste of space. I was like, maybe it was, because I saw the first 20 or so episodes, or maybe not 20 or so, it was like the first 10 or so episodes, and I was like, bro, this is not tough, this is not Gucci at all. So, it's funny because I've seen both sides, but if we're talking about those people, yeah, Boruto's not nearly that bad. I encourage most Naruto readers to read Boruto, because I feel like if you're a Naruto fan, there's a lot of good stuff there there's a lot of cool things that you remember as a Naruto fan that'll remind you when reading Boruto, but at the same time, it's still a new experience. It's like, whoa, this is tough. So, yeah, I encourage you to read Boruto if you haven't already. It's a good new gen. I think Boruto is definitely a great manga. They do a cool thing where they're trying to, again, they know it's a sequel of Naruto, so to speak, right? So they're not straying completely away from it, but at the same time, you can't just go read Boruto expecting the exact same play for play as Naruto. But yeah, just to answer your question, this hot take I agree with. It's not nearly as bad as those people say. Shout out Monkey, obviously. Monkey is saying Naruto and Naruto Shippuden had a better start than One Piece, and I agree 100%. Now the thing with Naruto Shippuden, I'm a One Piece. I started as a One Piece channel, right? And obviously I've been watching One Piece for a couple of years now, and I have a lot of friends that watch anime, so I try to get them hip to it. And one of the critiques I feel like they always have is that they think that One Piece starts a little too slow, especially comparing it to Naruto or even Shippuden. While I think using Shippuden as an example is not as good or is not as fair because Shippuden has the whole backing of Naruto. Look at OG Naruto real quick. When did the Zabuza stuff start up? I think by episode 20 we was encountering Zabuza, and that's not the most hype scene ever in Naruto, sure, but it was still pretty hype. And I do love One Piece as much as the next guy, and I think One Piece is better than Naruto. But One Piece it definitely starts out a little slower. And I feel like that's probably, especially when you look at how slow it kind of starts at a bit, and then look at the huge number of episodes or chapters, it'll definitely turn people off. They're like, bro, I'm not going to sit through 1,000 episodes when it gets good at episode 300. Which is not true, but when you look at the first 10 or so episodes, or even 20, it's not as live as you expected, especially when you compare it to other series. So, it gives that perception. So, I do agree that One Piece starts out a little slower. But obviously, check out One Piece and check out Naruto. Them, I can't freaking give my recommendation on those two series enough. It's just, they do what they do. Shout out Wa, obviously. Wa says Invincible is better than Naruto. First off, check out Invincible. I already said check out Naruto, but Invincible is a really great show. It's a good cartoon. I feel like Invincible is a series that a lot of people that don't even mess with cartoons still watch, and it definitely keeps your interest at all times. The suspense is crazy. And I'm saying that all to say that even with all that, Invincible is not better than Naruto. I encourage y'all, bro, to rewatch Naruto, especially some of these the Chunin exams and pain art. There's a lot of great arcs in Naruto. People really forget for some reason, but Naruto, it was in its bag when it was in its bag. That's kind of why I'm making that anime Big 3 video soon. It'll probably be the next video. To remind people that when Naruto was in its heyday, people was not talking this crazy on Naruto's name. Let me just remind y'all. Invincible's really good. I encourage you to watch it, obviously, but no, it's not close. Alright, we got Chopper over here, so check out Chopper, obviously, as well. And Chopper's saying Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki is overrated, that fight. So that fight is a 6.5 out of 10. And I talked about that fight, earlier in this video, so I think this fight is goated. And I'll say this right now, bro. We talking about choreography, like just that sense. Forget like the impact and all that stuff. Just talking about the straight hands. Forget any like context. That fight has an argument for being the best fight in all of Naruto. And I hold Naruto fights in really high regard. I feel like of all the series I've seen, Naruto probably has easily top 3 fights in all the series I've watched. And I've seen a lot of series now. So yeah, Naruto and Sasuke vs Momoshiki fight is not anything to be played with. I don't see how it's overrated. It's just like, I feel like I just don't understand the argument. Like, bro, there's a lot of time, like that fight had a lot of taijutsu. Going back to like, if you want to look at Kakashi and Obito when they fought, like that, or Sasuke and Itachi, like those older fights, it has that kind of feeling where it's like they're fighting a lot of taijutsu. But we still remember that they have the crazy hacks powers. Like we see a lot of Sasuke using his Rinnegan teleportation ability, Naruto using the Nine-Tail going crazy, Shaolin, Rasengan, all that stuff. Bro, I'm telling you, watch that fight. It's crazy. It's easily one of the best fights in Naruto. Like it's not close. So overrated, yeah, you tripping on that, Chopper, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely disagree with that. So Akainu and Kizaru could one-shot any commanders other than Marco. So we talking about, if I'm talking about first commanders, I guess we're talking about King and Cat. Because I'm assuming you're not talking about Ben Beckman. If you are, then I guess that's just false off rep. I don't think that Ben Beckman's weak enough to get one shot by an Admiral. Not saying Admirals are weak or anything, but so let's just look at King and Cat if they can get one shot by Akainu and Kizaru. That's a good question. I mean, it's hard to do that, right? Because the Admirals didn't really fight characters that weak, I want to say. I mean, I guess a good comparison is probably Ace, right? Because Ace, I have Ace stronger than most of those first commanders. But Ace is probably in that ballpark. And looking at that fight with Ace and Akainu, I wouldn't say Ace got one shot. But at the same time, I think he could have possibly, you know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like Ace definitely got outmatched. It was not close. It was very clear Akainu was stronger than Ace, right? But Ace did, like, he literally threw himself to protect Luffy. Like, he literally took the whole brunt of the damage. If King or Cat's fighting, that's not going to really happen. To complete this whole statement or whatever, they were fighting in Marineford, and in Marineford, they couldn't use their awakenings. So if Akainu hits King or Cat with the power of like an awakening type magma punch, or Kizaru hits him, I'm imagining Kizaru is around the same level. That's why I'm using really Akainu mostly, because I think whatever Akainu can really do, Kizaru probably can do, because they're admirals, they're around the same level. But yeah, I think that's possible. That's not that hot of a take, honestly. Hot take: Tokyo Revengers is the best new gen. As of right now, where I'm at, I'm agreeing with you. Obviously, I just dropped the Tokyo Revengers video, not even probably a couple days ago now, as it is, with the Masked Man, so obviously check out his channel and check out the video. Yeah, I think, as of all the series I've seen right now, Tokyo Revengers is the best. I've heard the argument for Chainsaw Man. I ain't seen it, though. But, you know, I've seen a couple new gens, Demon Slayer, Fire Force, and while I'm anime only for them, Tokyo Revengers, I still got that beat. Even, like, Boruto, I'm reading Black Clover right now. I think another series that has the contention is JJK. It's close. But I think Tokyo Revengers, like, it's a weird thing where one day I'll pick Tokyo Revengers, one day I'll pick JJK. It's definitely a close contest, but I think I'm agree with this for sure. So, hot take: One Piece fights are better than Bleach. I ain't seen a Bleach fight in a couple months now, so I might have to rewatch. The thing with Bleach and One Piece is they're so different. Does One Piece have the weakest fights of the big three? It's possible. I think that I might like Bleach fights more, but I think it's a close one. I have to go back and look. Like, it's been obviously a minute. I think I'm gonna just go no, though. But it's close. Like, that's not that hard of a take. I can see it either way. We talking about Bleach. Ichigo versus Ukiyoda is a crazy fight. Ichigo versus Grimjaw, an insane fight. I remember I used to watch animes of that when I was really young. Like, those fights are insane. Ichigo versus Aizen. Like, Bleach has some hitters. Don't get me wrong. But so does One Piece. Like, we talk about Luffy Crocodile, Luffy Katakuri. I'm gonna go One Piece, but if you want to call that bias, you can, because I have seen One Piece fights more recently and stuff like that. But I think that's definitely like a, you know, a give and tug, or a push and pull thing. This is a hot take from Luffy Uzumaki, you know, staying on the Bleach side. So you say Bleach is better than Naruto. Bleach has a better plot, consistency, character development, fights, and animation. And so you're just saying Bleach is just better than Naruto in entirety. We can run it by piece by piece. As for animation, I think that Bleach looks better. I like Kubo's art style. I always thought that Bleach had like the best artwork or art style in anime for a long time. It wasn't until like the Demon Slayers and this new gen that just pulled up where I can kind of concede that, oh, you know, Bleach might have been surpassed in that aspect. So if you're talking about that, Bleach definitely has done a lock. For fights, I don't think it's close. I don't see the argument for Bleach fights over Naruto. Like, Naruto fights, whatever you want in a fight, Naruto has it. If you want like choreography, which just like hands-on hand, like martial arts, Naruto will give that to you for sure. If you want like bombastic, crazy fights, you can get that as well. There's not an argument, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think fights is probably one of those things with Naruto that if you say in a series has better fights than Naruto, I'm hard pressed to agree in almost any circumstance. Like Naruto's fights are really kind of crazy. Talking about plot, I think that's I disagree with that as well. Because like the Bleach plot is good, but there are some nosedives that Bleach takes. And you can say that Naruto does that as well. Like the war arc is not the best plot-wise arc. But I think Naruto has more better arcs, if that makes sense. Consistency, I think Naruto definitely is more consistent than Bleach. So Bleach after the Aizen arc, there were definitely some good arcs, but there were definitely a lot of bad arcs. Character development, that's a close one. I could see either way. Like I know that Bleach has a lot of characters that you didn't expect to get character development, but they end up getting it. Like Kenpachi, crazy, that's a great one. Hollow Ichigo, it's like my favorite character in Bleach, obviously. To see his character development, obviously Ichigo, but to see Hollow Ichigo and what happens with him, to find out, you know, that he's really Ichigo's like Zanpakuto, that was a crazy moment. So character development, it's close, but I think that you could still give that to Naruto. So overall, I think that's pretty false. We got a hot take from Frosty Army. Shout out Frosty Army, obviously. That's the bro. If you like any of the thumbnails that have been coming out the last 2 or 3 weeks, that's Frosty Army, so check him out. But Frosty Army came with his take, and he said, Kuma is stronger than Lucci, Crocodile, and NL. Shout out my boy Kuma as well, because I think Kuma's a character that I hope Oda shows more of him to us, because we never really got to see his full power. Like, he clashed with Zoro and stuff, but that was really it. And Zoro did, I think, give him a slash or something, but we always got the sense that Kuma was stronger, especially when we learned about what team he was aligned with. Like, I can see the argument there. Lucci, if you want to take Lucci from Water 7, that's not that hard to be stronger than that. Not that Lucci's weak or something, but Kuma could easily be stronger than Lucci. But I guess the question would be Eneru or Enel and Crocodile. Especially if we're talking about Marineford Crocodile, because Marineford Crocodile was hitting everything standing. He was attacking Whitebeard, Mihawk, Aki Inu. He was on some different types of energy. I think that Kuma could probably beat those guys though. Enel's strong too, but I think that Kuma's fruit is not as hacked as Enel's, but it could be close. And you know, Kuma could low-key be a hockey god. Like, I mean, I'm gonna headcanon time, right? I'm gonna assume he was a high-ranking general or whatever you would want to call it on Dragon's army, the Revolution Army. And if he trained Sabo, Kuma was probably a GOAT. So yeah, Kuma being stronger than Lucci, Enel, and Crocodile, I'm not mad. We got a hot take from Asta0920. He says basically Tokyo Revengers is better than Fullmetal Alchemist, and like, that's a tough one. Obviously, again, another self-promo or whatever, right? Check out that video, Tokyo Revengers with the Masked Man. It was a really fun video. Check that out. Y'all know that I like Tokyo Revengers. Everyone who knows the channel so should know that. But y'all also know I like Fullmetal Alchemist as well. I think Fullmetal Alchemist is probably one of the most flawless anime in the sense that there are not that many flaws with it. Like, there's not that many things you can say bad about it. But at the same time, I think Tokyo Revengers, if you say it's better than Naruto, I'm not mad at that. Like, and that should tell you that I think that's like top 10, top 20 type thing, right? So Tokyo Revengers obviously has to end, right? Because where it is in the series, it's set up in a way that if they don't end it properly, it's going to look kind of bad, especially with it being like a mystery type anime or a mystery type series. And they had a great place to stop it earlier and they didn't. So like, bro, if it don't, you know, stick the landing, it's going to be tough and not in a good way. But I'm going to just say, as of right now, because it seems like you're saying it's better right now, I'm going to say no. I could see the argument there though. Like, I think that Tokyo Revengers might, now this is a might, it might have higher peaks than Fullmetal. It's such a weird comparison, right? Because they're so different. Where Fullmetal is more, there's fighting and stuff, and there's a mystery, but it's not as centered on the mystery as Tokyo Revengers is. Like, Tokyo Revengers is all about the mystery. It's a very character-led series, so I can see the argument there. I'm gonna say no because I'm gonna give Fullmetal Alchemist his respect. But if you say Tokyo Revengers is better than Fullmetal Alchemist, I don't know if I'm exactly mad at you. But again, Tokyo Revengers is a series where it's still kind of in limbo where it is in the like where it is ranking wise. I'm gonna get this last one obviously. So shout out Jesus Seinfeld. He's saying Boa is by far the most overrated character in One Piece. The Boa fans are even worse than the people that think Shanks is top 10. Now, as a Boa fan myself, I wouldn't say I'm a Boa stan. That's kind of crazy. But as a Boa fan myself, I'm a little hurt. I feel like Boa is not the most overrated One Piece character ever because, let's be honest, Boa don't get a lot of shine. Like, she's not a character that people are just clamoring for. She does have a fan base, I think, for sure. Like, there are people that definitely mess with her. But there are people that just don't mess with her inherently at the same time. Like, I wouldn't even say Boa is one of the most popular characters in One Piece. I don't even think that. There's a lot of characters that outrank her in that sense. I mean, if you don't like the lovey-dovey stuff with her and Luffy, I could see that. But I mean, I think Boa has a lot of interesting, traits to her, interesting things about her. Like, obviously, she has a connection to the Celestial Dragon stuff. That's kind of crazy. That can come back, not to bite her, but we can come back to learn more about that. warlord, obviously. She has an army of advanced Haki users. Like, I always say that. Like, that's a big deal. People kind of got to peep that. Like, that's a crazy thing. She got all 3 Hakis. Like, that's on deck. Her Devil Fruit's kind of interesting. You know, it's like the whole, like, I don't know who that would be. It's like the Medusa, yeah. It's like the Medusa thing. Like, she has that. I think Boa's a cool character, though. I don't think that she's some... People, yeah, I don't think she's the most overrated character in One Piece, so I'm gonna definitely have to disagree with Jesus real quick, obviously. Yeah, let me know what your craziest hot take is, actually, because I want to know that. Appreciate it, obviously, for coming through, but I'm out, so peace.